Rugby League's human headline was back in business. 18 months after his last appearance in the NRL, Willie Mason's colourful career had been resurrected. The former Test forward's return wasn't the only key comeback for Newcastle in this Monday night match against Penrith, with captain Kurt Gidley also overcoming his knee problem. While Wee Willie watched on from the interchange bench, the Flying Scotsman finished off after former knight Brad Tighe's blunder.
And a chance for Newcastle on the counter-attack. McManus for the corner will get there. And the mistake by Penrith proves to be a costly one. It's the Knights who score first.
Mason's mere presence in the 17 put Newcastle's starting pack on notice, and to a man they responded superbly. Chris Houston's mighty hit-up forced Penrith onto the back foot, and they were left short when the home side span it wide with a lethal mix of skill and speed.
Back infield, Badiris to Mullen. That's a beauty. A terrific try by the Newcastle Knights. Something of a counter-attack once again. And it all began with a big run from their own end by Chris Houston.
Successive 30-0 defeats had Penrith facing the prospect of being the first team in 30 years to go an entire calendar month without scoring a single point. However, Travis Burns put them in the frame after he swooped on a misguided Danny Badiris pass from dummy half.
Needs a bounce, doesn't get the one he was looking for.
With Michael Jennings ending their misery on the following play.
Bounces off him, gets across the line, and the heavens have opened. The drought has ended.
It was the Panthers' first try in almost 3.5 hours of football. But their reward was to be greeted by the imposing frame of Newcastle's high-profile acquisition. He earned a penalty on the back of his initial hit-up, and the Knights lifted again, using their new set to score try number 3.
Good hands, Tahu back on the angle, gives it to Taya, and Newcastle are in again.
Good footy. And a great second man playing. Good footwork there, Tamana Tahu.
Both teams surrendered important personnel in the lead-up to half-time, with Luke Walsh limping off, and Badiris' troublesome Achilles heel also flared up. The only consolation for the veteran hooker was knowing that his side was sitting on a cushion of 2 converted tries at the break. Clint Newton's first outing at Hunter Stadium since his mid-season exit from the Knights in 2007 went pear-shaped when he served it up to his old teammate Tamana Tahu.
Ty trying to run him down from behind, but Tahu will win the race and extend the scoreline for Newcastle.
Then Badiris' replacement Matt Hilder made the most of his opportunity by slicing through Penrith's ruck.
It goes to Gidley instead though, and the skipper will keep the points coming Newcastle's way. The floodgates might be about to open.
But just minutes after going over, Gidley suffered a suspected dislocated shoulder, which would be his second of this luckless campaign. If that wasn't hard enough for New South Wales coach Ricky Stewart to swallow, he saw Michael Jennings land awkwardly on his shoulder soon after.
Somebody better pass Ricky Stewart the smelling salts.
While the remarkable casualty toll was being counted, Newton plunged over to atone for his earlier stray offload.
Newton! Clint Newton, back in Newcastle, gets a try for the Panthers.
He'd love that, playing against his former club, Clint Newton.
Neville Costigan crashed over in the closing stages.
Go back to the middle again, trying to crash his way over. He's done it as well. Neville Costigan.
Before Newton's mixed night at his nursery ended on a positive.
26 points. Here's a kick, and Newton is across the line. He's grabbed a double.
A dramatic night resulted in Newcastle toting their biggest score of the season, 34-14. Making a much-travelled Novocastrian product very happy to be back in the Hunter.
Obviously left here when I was a kid, but always a Newcastle boy at heart. And it's pretty emotional and pretty nervous day for me, and it was just good to get out of the way. I think our forwards really played well tonight to complement our backline, and I was just very happy to be a part of it.
David Rowlands, Big Pond Sport.